Shartimus, rhyme, reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking back hits, Shartimus, subscribe,
Yeah, that's definitely some taint right there.
What's up, you guys? Shartimus Prime here doing another Transformers figure review on the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Autobot Drift. If you're trying to get your Transformers figures, you can get them at Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
I really like the packaging over here. Love this picture of Drift. That looks awesome. He's a samurai. Very, very cool. And he turns into an Italian car. Isn't that kind of funny, right? Because the Japanese don't make any cars, right? I guess not. Or Michael Bay's not acknowledging that anyway. And there's Transformers right there. At the bottom, he's Series M4 number 6. And on the back, you get him in his alt mode, his Bugatti mode, and then he's in his robot mode right there. We get a little bio of Drift. You want to read that? Pause it now. Here's Slash and Strafe. I've reviewed both of those figures. Well, I had the 2-pack Evolution version. Same thing. Changes in 16 steps. Yeah, alright, man. I'm stoked for this figure. Let's get to it and crack this thing open. So here's Drift out of the packaging, looking freaking awesome, man. My favorite color is blue. I like blue, and I just think this figure looks amazing. I really like how he has these gold swords. He has 2 daggers right here attached to his back. Kind of reminds me of Leonardo, you know what I mean? He's got the 2 katanas, and he's got blue going on for his theme. He's got a little bit of a backpack over here, but it's not too bad. So let's take a closer look at these accessories, and then we'll take a closer look at Drift. But first and foremost, he does come with an instruction booklet that conveniently shows you how to transform him from robot mode into car mode, and then again from car mode into robot mode, which is nice. It looks like we only see this for the deluxe class figures. So his weapons aren't necessarily gold. It's like a beige kind of bronze color, but it's, you know, a flat plastic. There's no shine to it, which would have been nice, but I'm not really missing it too much. I like how it's sculpted. These little lines riveted through there. It looks pretty cool, and it has these pegs sticking out, so you can attach him to his back, you know, which we saw earlier over here, which looks a little strange having the dagger parts facing upwards instead of the handles facing upward, but that's how it's supposed to go, and it makes the figure look pretty cool. I like how it looks. Then it comes with these 2 larger katanas for a size comparison. You can see the difference in size right there. You can see that. So yeah, these daggers are quite small compared to these. They look cool, you know. Again, I kind of wish for that gold chrome would have been really nice on these weapons, but not a big deal that they don't have it. I like the sculpting on them, and again with these pegs for storage. You can store either set of weapons that you want on his backpack over here, so I think that's a nice touch. You can do that. Even though he holds the swords in his hands just fine, he doesn't hold the daggers as well. It feels pretty loose in here. It's not a very tight grip. It could just fall out like that. And here's a look at Drift's face, which looks very, very cool. I like how the face came out on this figure. They did a really, really good job. He's got funny looking lips though, right? That's a weird looking mouth. But overall, it's got some nice details in it, and I like that they use this shiny gold paint on here. It looks great. He's got that Megatron helmet, or a samurai helmet, whichever you want to call it, but I like how it has some lines sculpted in there. And he does have some light piping. Yeah, you can see the clear blue plastic right there, just screwed in the head. You can see where it changes from the clear plastic to the solid blue plastic right there. And here's the side of it. I have a little bit of scuffage going on with the face. It's very, very minor. For the most part, I think it looks very clean. Then to get a better look at this light piping, let's see how this goes. It's not really working too well. Yeah, the light piping's kind of weak on this figure. I'm trying to really shine it through here. Yeah, it's not really working. Then here's the chest or the front of the Bugatti, looking pretty cool. A little bit of scuffage right there on this part, but not too bad. I had to go through actually a couple of these to find one which I think looked the best, and that one still has a little bit of scuffage, but it's not the worst. I like these Samurai Warrior protective shielding right there we have on his arm. That looks pretty cool. We have some nice sculpted details in the arms and stuff, so it doesn't really look too flat. Same thing with that armor on his upper thighs right there. He kind of has stumpy legs, but I guess that's kind of how he looked in the movie too. And then there's Drift Dozy. And here's looking at the back of the figure, again with that backpack, but it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't really bother me too much. It really doesn't look that bad. Now, as far as Drift's articulation, it's okay, just a little lacking. You can make his head move up a little bit like that, and it can't really move downward, but he can rotate side to side, and you get a little bit of a neck pivot right there, so it's on a ball peg. He has shoulders that move outward, they rotate forward. He has elbows that bend in, and they move inward and outward a little bit, and he has wrists on a hinge. So his wrists cannot swivel, but they do move up and down. He has no waist joint at all. He has great hip joints that move all the way outward. He can kick very far forward. forward. He bends at the knee only a little bit due to this little piece right here. If you want to, you can scoot that back more and then get a little bit more motion out of that. So it could bend at about 90 degrees. The ankles barely move up and down, no rotation or ankle pivot at the ankle. And with Drift being a deluxe class figure, he stands just at about 5.5 inches tall. And here he is next to Transformers 4 Deluxe Class High Octane Bumblebee. And here he is next to Deluxe Class Crosshairs. And they look like they stand at about the same height. And here he is next to Transformers 4 Dino. Thank you, Steve. And if you've noticed, this is the Revenge of the Fallen Sideways Deluxe figure. So we have seen some shrinkage over time between the Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class figures and the Transformers 4 Deluxe Class figures. Woof. And here's Drift compared to the One Step Changer Drift. Wow, they're about the same height. And then here's Deluxe Drift compared to the Mashers Drift. Thank you, Alfonso. Funny thing is that this figure actually has pointier swords and blades than this deluxe class figure. I think that's kind of funny. And here's movie Drift compared to comic version Drift, and man, this is still a very cool figure. I haven't picked this figure up in a while. Really like this Drift figure. Pretty cool. Here he is next to the 2014 Ninja Turtles movie Leonardo figure and the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So the transformation for this figure is not very hard, nor is it stupid simple. I actually really like it. Anyway, let's get to it. Will you take us away, Bumblebee? Good job, Bumblebee. So the first thing you want to do is you want to remove all the weapons. So remove the daggers right there from the back. Put those aside. Then he has his swords right over here. And we're going to put those aside like there. So we're going to start with the legs. He has these pieces that you want to flip up like that. And we're going to flip up like that. And then move the feet downward. And then we're going to connect the back of the car mode. And get that all pieced together like that. Now you want to get over here towards the front of the car, or actually the top of it anyway, and remove this back section. You can see that there's a slot right over here. It goes into this tab, so you want to move this piece back, rotate this 90 degrees, and then lift this up right over here. And so you don't want to scratch up the front or anything, and then rotate another 90 degrees pointing downwards. But this is very, very loose, by the way, so it's going to probably move around throughout the transformation. And then also there's this back piece. Now what you got to do is you got to take the daggers and put them in these slots right over here. Before you get to finishing the transformation for his weapon storage. I really like the weapon storage a lot on this figure, actually. It's pretty cool. Everything tucks away very, very nicely, and I'm missing a dagger. There it is. And we're going to put this one right in there. So, yeah, so you want to leave these right in there and then leave these two back ports available for the final part of the transformation. Anyway, I'm going to rotate this back up over here, and then you want to make his head go into his back, so you're going to flip this all the way backwards, and then the front of the vehicle is going to be right over there. You want to move the shoulders upward, so do that, and then make sure the hands are at his hips. He has his two flaps. They're going to tab in right over here. As you can see, there's a slot right there, and there's this tab right over here, and it all connects gracefully. And I said gracefully, there it is. Okay, nope, no, where's my grace? And then we're going to move this whole section forward, make sure these pieces right here move back in nicely, and then make sure just everything is all nicely like Toiger. Let's see here. Yeah, gets a little finicky. There we go. And final part of transformation. Almost complete. Yeah, all right, that's pretty much it. Yeah, all right, there it is. Yeah, now it's more or less complete. Now all you have to do really is just attach the swords right here towards the front of the car. And there's a slot right there for the handle, and you can kind of see that right there. There's that little slot and that notch, and then there's the tab, and that just plugs in very, very nicely. And he rolls very well. Look at that. Look at that rolling, man. And he can drift like crazy. Woo! Yeah, that's cool. I love that with all the weapon storage and everything. He can still drive around very, very well. Very cool figure. I like it. Woo! Even though the figure rolled just fine as it was, I also like to tuck the swords underneath these pieces. But if you don't want to, you're afraid of that getting stuck being bent, you can just leave it out like that, and it still rolls okay. But I just wanted to mention that for those of you that wanted to play it safe. But yeah, he rolls just fine. I like the silver paint application on the wheels over here for the rims. I think that's great. I really like this blue plastic. I have one part right here that keeps popping out on me a little bit, but it's actually really not too bad. It's actually just working just fine. Again, with the metallic blue, sky blue paint right here. Then we have more of this royal blue over here. That needs to go back in a little better. And here we have the front of the vehicle looking really nice. They had silver right here for the headlights, which I actually don't think is a bad move. I think that looks very cool. Beautiful looking vehicle. I really like it. We have that Autobot logo right over there. I really like how we have some little sparkles right here in the blue plastic. Here's a gas cap. Very cool. Spoiler right there in the back. Looking pretty nice, man. I really like this. Beautiful car, you know. Bugatti's very popular. Very popular. I don't really know too much about cars, to be honest with you. They have silver paint right here on the tail lights. Looking very cool. Nice detailed sculpt throughout. I really like this vehicle a lot. Very, very cool. I don't mind them using blue clear plastic right here for the windshield and all the windows. I think that's not a bad move. It's alright. You can see a little bit of his dagger sticking through there, but, you know, it doesn't really bug me at all. I think this looks very cool. So for a deluxe class figure, I'd say Drift is about average size in the vehicle mode. He's at about 5 inches across, maybe just a little less. And here he is next to Age of Extinction High Octane Bumblebee and Crosshairs. And he's about the same size as Bumblebee, maybe just a little bit smaller than Crosshairs. Lift the camera up over here. Let's see if we get a good idea. Yeah, so he's like right in between the two of them. I don't know, closer to the size of Bumblebee, really. And here he is next to the retail version of Leader Class Prime, and I think they look pretty good and scale together. I think that looks pretty sweet. And seeing him compared to Dino over here, you could see the size difference. So yeah, this Revenge of the Fallen figure is a bit larger. Going like that, yeah, so you can definitely tell the size difference over here. This guy's a bit bigger, but not too far off. I wouldn't say they're terribly out of scale from each other. It's not too bad, really. Then here he is next to his Generations counterpart, and yeah, this one's much larger. Look at that, yeah. So, and I really wish they had gone with, you know, a Japanese car instead of the Bugatti, even though I think the Bugatti is very cool. So, part of me wishes that this was a Japanese vehicle instead of an Italian vehicle, but you know what? It really doesn't matter that much. Jazz was a black guy, and he ended up being an Italian car too, didn't he? And here's Drift compared to the one-step changer Drift. So, size difference right over there. So, what else can I say? I say get this figure. I really like it a lot. I really like how the paint applications came out. It is a little on the petite side, and the articulation is a bit weak. It doesn't have as much articulation as I'd like him to have, especially for him being such an agile character that we saw in the movie. But regardless, I really like the figure, and if you're trying to get all your main characters, you gotta get Drift, man. Cannot pass up on Drift, unless you're holding out for the Voyager class helicopter changing one, which I cannot wait for. Anyway, that's my review, guys. Hit the like button if you like the video. Please leave a comment. Check out tformers.com for a photo gallery, and leave a comment over there to enter the 50,000 subscribers contest. And do not forget to subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Peace.
That's crispy.
The hilt of the sword.